Hey guys, this is SF and welcome to Monster of the Week. This week it is going to be Raff Transcended. Surprisingly, I never did one of her when she came out. Probably I didn't start the series until after she came. But my Sweeper Am, no damage wall. For the base, gauge is recovery. Strike shot is a command strike shot starting at 12 turns for first gear, 12 turns more for the second gear, and then bump combo, cross laser XL, and then lock on tux wave 6 for the bump, sub bump, although it's kind of like a main bump for her. So Raff, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were waiting for her to get transcended, and she's finally here in NA. And even in JP right now, she's still in the top tier of monsters. And recently got a Christmas skin, and of course she's one of the best water monsters in the game, just because if you're talking about like no damage wall monsters, she is the best in the water department, like better than D'Artagnan and better than Susano, just because when you compare it to Susano only has one null, so which is the no damage wall, and then the reason for why she's better than like D'Artagnan is just because she has a better Raff has a better strike shot than D'Artagnan, just because D'Artagnan has a supportive strike shot. Is not really that strong unless you really get a good horizontal or vertical into the boss and stuff like that. And then whereas Raff's strike shot basically can deal two functions. One is mob clear, the other one is boss damage, and it's 12 turns. Usually the first gear of 12 turns you would go for just mob clear, and you don't really worry about boss damage that much. And then the the second gear is more for boss damage and mob clear if you have it all the way up there. But why she's like the top is just because like she has no holes basically. What I mean is that wherever you look at her kit, she basically has no real demerits. Like for instance, if you compare it to like God Striker, like he has two nulls, same as Raff. He has a Slayer instead of recovery, which is, you know, you can debate whichever is good or whatever not good, but they're pretty much the same. One's more supportive, one's more offensive. And then bump combo is really strong, you know. Energy Circle M and 8-way laser is relatively strong for like damage, consistent damage. But where Striker falls off is the strike shot. Although it does a lot of damage for a single boss, like, you know, boom, 1.5, 1.7 million damage is nothing to scoff at. But when you compare it to Raff, you can probably do that on the first gear if you're just aiming for the boss. With the first gear, which is 12 turns, which is shorter than God Strikers. Plus, it can clear off mobs, which gives you some more utility. It gives you more utility for boom. Okay, not bad. Which gives you more utility in the map, in the dungeon itself, because usually when Striker, you strike shot and then you deal damage to the boss, which is cool, but you know, mobs still alive and they will still do damage to you if you don't kill them. Whereas Raff is like, I dealt damage, also cool, to the boss, but I also clear out the mobs and I don't take damage, and that's like infinitely times better than God Striker's strike shot. That's where God Striker has that hole in him, whereas Raff doesn't, which makes Raff like a few tiers, like one tier higher than God Striker, which is really crazy. And she's like top 5 instantly, just because that. And of course you really want double nulls for double nulls, just because it's kind of like standard for the top tier, unless you have like really crazy slayers like Gabriel with 2 elemental slayers, which is really crazy. And Lucy starts to fall down. Like, I'm not surprised if Lucy kind of falls off in a few months or so. Even in JP, in JP, just because not many people use her now. And although she's good for like existing dungeons, she's kind of fallen off in the newer ones. So, and then Raff is relatively okay. Like, she's good for Izanami 0, probably her best dungeon. Asha, probably another one that she's really good at. And then you go for Yamato Takeru 0. It's only 3, but it's 3 relatively hard dungeons. Except for, what's his name? Well, actually, they're all relatively hard. Asha is relatively hard. Izanami 0 is hard because it's not hard anymore because Raff makes it super easy. But before, Izanami 0 was like super crazy hard. And even if you had God Striker, it still was iffy for most people. But now with Raff, it's like, it's a no-brainer. Just stack 1 or 2 and then you're basically home free. And then Yamato Takeru 0, it's hard in itself as well, like one of the harder dungeons in the game. So that's really the reason why Raff is like one of the top tier monsters in the game, and still is today. Like, it's been like, it hasn't been a year, but it has been like 10 months since she came, and she's still on near the top. Although recently, ouch, that's a lot of damage. But recently, there are a lot more warp dungeons, which is kind of sketchy. But let's see. Oh, Raff gets hit, which is kind of sketchy, but she is surviving for the most part. And I almost died there, which is never good. Okay, there we go. And then in terms of tower floors, she's basically best at 21st floor, which has no hearts and you need recovery monsters. At 26th floor with the zombie loop, her 12 turn strike shot is good for clearing off the zombie loops. At 36th floor, which is a no heart dungeon as well. And then 36, I already said 36. And then, what's that dungeon's name? What's that dungeon? 21, 26, 36, 29. Also has zombie loop. And let's use her strike shot. And then 39th floor, which is mines and warps, mines and damage walls as well. And you can see it's not that great. Well, that and Asura has a ton of HP for no real reason. And then 29th floor, 39th floor, you can probably bring it to like the 30 and the 40 stages. And then with her poison, you can bring her to the 25th floor. Yeah, that's basically most of what she is really good for. Like, she's good for at least, you can probably make use of her for at least 10 of the 20 top, like the 21 to 24th floor, which is pretty broken. Like, you can probably bring her to the 32nd floor with Bishop Mountain. Ouch. And that's it. Just because she is Minesweeper, no damage roll, although she takes more damage because it is elemental effectiveness, you can recover, and she is good for just with a strike shot. And you can probably bring her to like dungeons with no gravity barriers. You can probably bring her to the 31st floor, and she'll somehow be kind of useful. So that's the power of Raff. One of the best monsters in JP even now, and just started to gain some ground in NA. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.